Well, happy holiday, midsummer. It always feels like when it's July 4th. Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am Shawn, and boy, have you had a good, long, extended break? Eat lots of good barbecue, done all the wonderful American things that this great country is so used to doing, and for such days as July 4th. Now, kind of odd when it falls like midweek on a Thursday. So, actually affecting this show, because that's the day that I always record the show. We're recording it a day early on Wednesday. Also, I think there might have still been, well, I know in general, the company is still dealing with issues as far as the computer situation, but as far as the main things, as far as ordering and up and running and those kind of things, it all set to go. But there is some quirks that are occurring off and on, and I think one of them might have been the email again to this show, which it had been affected a couple weeks ago. Because for the first time in 340 shows, we got one comment. I don't think we've ever gotten no comments, never gotten one comment. So one will be a first. So it's not going to take long to do the comments. And with that said, I'm glad that I made the executive decision last week not to do the trivia, because there's this one person that would have won it all. It's like when my dad and I, of course, I was born on his birthday in January, and I always got to go out of school, and we would always do one thing together, no matter when or where we were, and that was to go fishing. So even in Sarasota, Florida, in January, it can get pretty cold, but it didn't matter. We would always go fishing, and we always have a bet. And even when I was little, it was $1 on the most, whoever got the most fish, $1 on whoever got the largest fish, $1 on whoever got the most different species of fish, $1 whoever got the smallest fish. And I think we were up to, it was 5 or 6 categories. So sometimes we would get skunked so badly that in the end, skunk meaning neither one of us catching anything. And this is mostly elementary school where it was most fun. And even into, 14, 15 years old. In the end, we would be scrambling to put the littlest hook on to catch any fish, because one fish would take it all. If you caught one fish, then it would win every category. And just something I won't forget, as this month is the anniversary of his passing, which of course I miss him dearly. And but I got a lot of wonderful time because he lived till he was 91 and was as sharp as a tack at 91. And yeah, but great memories there. So with only one person writing it on the comment, then if they got the trivia correct, then one answer would take it all. And that's why I didn't do it, because I didn't know exactly how it would work out, so I'm kind of glad I did. So we have a lot of great items, a lot of new items to show you. Sale price items are going to sneak into, and also, if I can get to it, maybe today we can, where I wanted to go through and just give you a little, I'm looking at it right now, if you see me look over, show you how I organize or how I carry around my go bag, as I had mentioned last week, a prospector's pouch, so to speak, that has a little bit of everything in it, from doing identification to, well, you'll get to see later if I can get that far. Matt in Texas. Matt, I have a special item for you that you will be interested in, and also I think everybody else, just in general, to see one of the ways that I create a display for a mineral specimen. His happens to be a little hot. If all of you remember and know that Matt is the retired principal who, after watching this show and some other references, got really interested in fluorescence. And for the first time, I have a responsible collector is seeming of the R minerals. One of those words that we don't like to say too often. But it has a circle with alternating triangles like a pie. You see my ring? Yeah. Mini pearl. Those of you who remember Hee Haw, not many, well, I think a lot of you will, but not many here at that Gem Shopping know anything about that show. So I'm showing my age. But yeah, we're going to have a really exciting show, and Matt gets to take advantage because I didn't figure anyone else would want this particular specimen. So I won't give away any more than that. But Matt, I do appreciate the fact that you made the best decision possible when you're looking to do this from a safe point of view as far as collecting the R minerals, which of course are the ones that put off a radioactive signature. And so is to have one of these, except I got your counter. Matt had to go and get the new and improved version. I'm a little jealous about that, but you know, hey, no, that's okay. I'm glad you did it. That was the best purchase you made, and you will have more fun with it than imaginable. Like earlier today, with it. Just this morning, I was going around seeing everything I could get that got a signature. And believe it or not, the outside of this plastic bag was reading like 300 CPM, counts per minute. And of course, 30 to 50 is the environmental count per minute. So it was like, what is going on? So much so that I actually went and I washed the bag and to see if it was in the plastic itself. You never know with recycled plastics, it made overseas kind of stuff, where it was coming from. And so this is why you just really don't know, because it washed off. So I would rather have had it been in the plastic bag, but to know that if I hadn't checked it, there would have been something floating around. Now, I'm going to show you a little lesson later when we get to that item and show you just how insignificant a even multi-thousand count per minute is when it comes to exposure and any kind of danger. People trade in these type of minerals all the time, are exposed to them all the time. There is a formula that you can figure out from the count per minute and your exposure rate. So I'm going to give you, Matt, some great information when we get to a very cool item, one that you don't have. Okay, so I dragged that out to get to our one comment we have from Cindy in Pennsylvania, and then we'll get ready for the show. So somehow Cindy in Pennsylvania was able to do slide in a comment. Maybe no one else did, or maybe no one else did because I said I wasn't doing trivia. You guys can't not love me that much that if I don't give something away, you're not going to leave me a comment. That's okay. The trivia is to make you want to leave comments. That's the whole idea. But there's neat stuff to be given away. And if you don't participate, you don't get to get something free. So it usually pays to play. Latif, you're going to be able to turn this off in just one moment because I have one comment. We're going to read it and then we're going to set up for the show. So, Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania slid the only comment through. Like I said, there might have been issues with the email, so please bear with us and be patient. And if you wrote something really cool, then write it again and try for next week. Hello, Rock family. Wonderful show this week, Shawn. I love it all. Yeah, last week's show, and I apologize for the abrupt ending. Something came up abruptly in case you didn't notice. And so I had to end the show in a, for me, relatively rude way. Yeah. But didn't have a choice. So hopefully y'all still love me and we'll give it another go next week. But there was really fantastic items in the show. Every item I featured was an item you had not seen before. So, okay, so she goes on to say, I called to see if the Slaughter Mountain Fire Agate was still available. It was, yay. Also snagged a parcel of the black Honduran opal. Good job on that. I am so happy to get both. Fire agate was a bucket list item and from Slaughter Mountain. Any opal, but those from an unusual locality, old stock and a unique presentation. Cannot wait to touch them. I know, and you have plenty of them to mess around with and get that file out. Get that little portable battery-operated finger and toenail manicure set that you got for a gift or bought it for yourself because you thought you'd use it. And you've never used it. You haven't gotten it out of the box or maybe used it once and it's like, well, you know. That's what I did with mine, except I didn't get mine for that purpose. I got mine to see if there was enough torque in the spinning wheel to be able to actually grind while you're watching TV. Remember, I want everything to be inexpensive, easy to do, and entertaining. Now, you know, grinding stones itself is entertaining enough for me, but for those of you that need a little extra oomph, it is easy to be able to file down, because remember, that is a kind of a rhyolite with opal silica in it. So it is with a diamond file or a diamond wheel is going to sand or grind down really easily and relatively quickly. So get out that set because you now have a good use for it. You only have to put the rough finish on it because when you're looking down on it with the quartz dome over it, you go by the quartz dome for your template. And so when you grind the, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to get a parcel of the Honduran opal because what it was doublets that were basically completed. They just needed the portion of the exterior of the opal ground down to match up to the quartz cap that had been adhered to it already. And I'm talking about decades ago. This was old stock. I haven't even seen quality Honduran opal like this, treated or not treated. Either way, ever since the period of time when that's from. So basically just aim for straight up and down and at the last minute just put a slight bevel inwards, just a slight bevel inwards on the rhyolite. And that way, when you look down on the cap, on the quartz part, you won't see any of the opal, and you'll get a nice, full, complete look. Plus, it'll be easier to set if you choose to do so. So that parcel has, 10 stones in each. You have plenty to mess around with, and, at the price each that they were, if you dropped one on the floor and broke it, which is not going to break because of the quartz dome, and that's one reason it's done in the order that they've done it. It is for additional support to the opal, but no real big loss, because I offered those at a really great opportunity, and if a lot of people over the years have asked me for it, and I kept saying, well, maybe I'll bring it in, I think I got some. I knew I had some. I actually know I have some other larger pieces that are rough, that are exactly like that. That's how I know that that's more of a natural material, even though the treated stuff can look like that. But I have actual rough, untreated, and one that I took a slice of, and it looks exactly like it. It's great quality. And it is in I can picture it, a little plastic jar with a metal lid that has just about rusted off, because there was water in with the opal over all these years that I had looked at it for years and years and years and years. And now I can't find it. But one day it'll turn up when it's supposed to, just like the fire agates for Miss Cindy. If I'm not mistaken, Miss Cindy first ordered those Slaughter Mountain fire agates and then changed her mind for other reasons, but then decided that she wanted them. And guess what? They were still available. Imagine that. They were so inexpensive, and a amazing opportunity, and they were still available. So what that means, Miss Cindy, is you were meant to have them all along. And even though you tried to resist them, the universe was going to not be cheated out of its gift to you, which was a really rare opportunity to get a semi-polished fire agate from Slaughter Mountain of the quality that those were and at the price that they are, because polished on the faces like that, you could just sit them in a glass case or just out on a display just as they are and be stunning, or do a before and after. They were good stuff. So I'm glad to see that you got them. Okay. Let's see. I know. Cannot wait to touch them. That has always been a big thing. I have seen Raven run back in the house to get to pick a rough rock so she can have it in her pocket for the day. And she'll come in the house and she'll know what she wants, or she'll just kind of get a feel. In other words, one will call out to her and she'll grab it, put it in her pocket, and that's her rock for the day. And those fire agates would be great for that. She says, take care all. See you next week. And yes, you will. We are here to try to bring you a show every week. And at least to miss a show, it wasn't because of an illness on my part. So that's a good thing, right? So I've got a good record going ever since December. Let's keep it going. Okay, so let me get set up and we'll start the show. Be right back. Oh, let's start off with a incredibly unique gem. So much so that the quality of the stones coming from Nepal have fooled some very knowledgeable people that I know for sapphire. Yep. I have an amazing story to tell you, but we'll skip that for now. Yeah, it's kind of a sad story about a well-known dealer that got taken because he, without doing further investigation by visual inspection only, said that a batch of kyanites were sapphires and told this other dealer to absolutely, at the price he bought the first ones for, to buy the rest of them the guy had. And on that, the person bought, and I know both the people, and names are withheld to avoid embarrassment. And you're talking thousands of dollars spent, thousands overall. And so the person didn't ask to sell the other two. It wasn't on the seller's fault. The onus is caveat emptor. Buyer beware. So that gives you an idea, and two of these people were, especially one extremely knowledgeable gem dealer and very well known in Atlanta and throughout all of the AGTA. So I wouldn't mention his name because I consider him a friend, and we can all make errors. Remember, I have my geode error from a era that was probably my biggest faux pas, because I thought these geodes in the high mountains of Morocco were something special. They were galena, and I'd never seen galena geodes. And I had a loop, and I used my loop to look at the very edge where they were just not sawn open but broken, and along the edge there was not one bit of galena in the broken edge, which is what you look for, is galena where it shouldn't be. And there were these tall stems sticking up with galena crystals off of them. And knowing everything I knew, I negotiated down from $15 a piece to, I thought I was skinning that cat. And that, by the way, ladies, in case you don't know, refers to a catfish. When you say skin a cat, that's not the little furry kind, because actually skinning a catfish here in the South, there's a couple methods to it, and one of them is literally to nail them to a tree and you peel the skin off with pliers. I've done it. It works. So anyway, we won't go into that part. But that's where that saying comes from. And I thought I was skinning this cat on his home turf in Morocco. And I had this little day bag for 4 days in Morocco after coming over from Gibraltar. And so negotiated down, bought everyone he had. And it weighed my little bag down, because remember, galena is a lead ore. And these weren't big geodes, maybe 3 inches across. I have one. If I had it right now, I didn't know I was going to tell the story, but I'd show you. But that'll be for another day. Needless to say, I get home. Longer story, I hauled these things all around. Got home. I called up my friend bragging about this amazing deal I found in Morocco. And he said, wait a minute, let me call my Moroccan dealer friend. I never heard of such a thing. He gets the Moroccan dealer friend on the phone, gets me on the phone, and the dealer says, tell your friend to run them under hot water. And stupidly, I did it on the disposal side, and I got the water hot and ran them under hot water, and it flushed those galena crystals out like they were mud. And right down, locked up the disposal, and what a mess. And those neat little stalks of crystal sticking up, glued toothpicks. Yep, galena crystals glued all on the toothpick glued in. And of course, Elmer's glue is water soluble, and that's all it took. And I, to this day, will tell that story on myself, because with all the knowledge and information I had, and looking at them to be a fake, thinking fake first, Along that line, that edge, it was so perfect. Everything. You couldn't see a piece of the wood. You couldn't see a tail any place. And I was still know that I don't know everything there is to know, including the fact that I don't know whether galena geodes existed or not. I'd never heard of them, but that doesn't mean they didn't exist somewhere in the world, and they don't exist anywhere in the world, and I should have known with what I didn't know, because I knew better, or thought I did. So, joke's on me, and it just goes to show you that no matter how much you think you know, you think you're skinning the cat when the cat is really already skinned you. When I went out of his store, I am sure he still thinks about me and laughs at that Farong Westerner all the time. At, me negotiating down the price. He could have had, they were just chalcedony, betrothal chalcedony geodes on the inside. They were a 25-cent geode. But yet, there's so much unemployment in Morocco. It's horrible. People are just sitting on guardrails doing nothing. So if you have a boy or adult, doesn't matter. And if at the end of the day, after your hard labor of gluing in all those crystals, you get, let's say, 25 cents even 50 cents for an all day's worth of work, you're 50 cents off better than you would have been, because sitting on a guardrail isn't going to make you any money. So something is better than nothing, and this is the outcome of it. To buy an amazing group of geodes that I have a great story to tell. And so there were like 6 of them. So the whole thing cost me less than $20. And, I'll never be able to find a geode, galena geode. Who would ever do that here in the States and, charge $3 for it? I mean, come on. I mean, they had to smash the galena. Anyway, great story. And I have those galena geodes sitting on every desk or bench I have as a constant reminder and as something to keep me humble. Just like the garnets that fooled me, that I got from Mr. Brad so kindly gave me. They sure did look like Alexandrites. I wasn't that familiar at all with that type of garnet coming out of Tanzania, and with the inclusions and the magnetism, I just wasn't that sure, because I had only gotten them moments before. Now, a little bit longer period of time to be able to investigate them, I am sure I could have sussed them out. But it is one of those things that at any age you can continue to learn, and I love that story in Morocco. I even like the fact that if I was going to get taken by somebody, this guy was high up in this little mountain town, and he probably hadn't seen a Westerner in a long time. And I am glad that, of all people, I gave him my money instead of somebody else less deserving of it. So, there we go. Now, back to the kyanite. Kyanite has 2 other friends, 2 other polymorphs, same chemical formula, different crystalline structure. The 2 very well known for the most part. Andalusite, of course you should know andalusite, and sillimanite. And then kyanite. Kyanite, what a great mineral. You can find it everywhere. I remember telling you the story how when I first got divorced with my little boy and he was like 4, we went to an apartment. That was I was bummed, of course. No place to rock out. Been living in Helen, had trout ponds, gold mines all around, prospecting all around. There was this little creek below there, a big, well-known apartment complex on a big, busy residential suburban area called, Jimmy Carter Boulevard. And below the apartment complex was this tiny little creek. And so with my son, we just wanted to explore somewhere just to walk. And we walked down the hill, walked to the creek, and I was just, just feeling sorry for myself that, I didn't have anywhere to go to prospect. Well, the universe provided an uplifting moment for me, because I looked down in the creek, as I always do, and just looked in a little area that had gathered up some gravel from the heavy rain. And sure enough, 1-inch long kyanite crystals right there. And I had to thank the universe for that, because it really uplifted my day. And again, it told me that rocks are where you find them. Just look down and the universe will provide. And so that was a great moment of kyanite that I'll never forget. And it was kyanite that gave me that moment. Let's look at this. I have seen this material. I've sold this material with beautiful citrine crystals. It is solid crystalline kyanite going in all kinds of multi directions. But there's one thing kind of cool on this one. Look at this. Look at this opening down in here. There's an opening back in here, and I was looking in there, and it goes, I won't poke it in there in case there's any, well, I know there's crystals because I saw them, but kind of neat. I'll let you, or whoever gets it, leave it to you to explore. I was exploring this also, and there were some other interesting areas to it. Look at this. Look at these. Yeah. So let me turn this and get the light on them. There's this group of crystals. Then there is also a black crystal. And look at some more of those little openings, which definitely need to be explored. You can see that you could actually wedge off sections of this. See this along here? It would be kind of neat to see how blue some of the kyanite could freshly be, where it's not oxidized, where you see some of this outer material is. There is a group of, let me see if I can find them real quick, or I'll let you find them, of what I believe to be, oh, by the way, yeah, so you see this mica that's white? That is, I believe, to be a muscovite, form of muscovite mica. There is a group, let me see, look at all this, of garnets along here. I think they are. When you see a group of orange crystals somewhere on this piece, I will, you'll know then what I'm talking about, and I'll let you do the exploration and have fun with it. I'm not going to find everything for you. I have enough fun. It takes me so long to do inventory because I get so involved in it. And wow. Okay, so all that, a lot of fun. You get a story with it too. All that for only $28. Kid you not, $28 on that. Okay, let's rock and roll you on. I have, oh wow, do I have some goods for you now. Item number 1187024. And now I've shown some of this material recently, but it's not everything that I wanted to show you. There's some other key items that, let me just wipe this off for a moment, that will, well, let's show you. Look at that. Look at the color and formation to that. Now you know why azurite and a little bit of malachite on the back. Azurite has been around for thousands of years, going back to, well, the days of the building of the Great Pyramids, because azurite could be used as a pigmentation, as a dye, as a form of cosmetics. You always picture, and in the movies, you know, the Queen of Sheba or any of the great queens of the Egyptian era, and they always have makeup on. And it seems like they have long eyelashes and blue eyeliner and all that other, but they definitely have and use blue. You see this color blue used in a lot of different pigmentations in the and the paint still surviving all these years, the paint coloring. This is stunning. This is what azurite crystals look like. This is what they look like before malachite will do its famous pseudomorphing, which malachite loves to replace and suck the life out of the azurite and replace it and take over its crystalline form. And that's why I have offered all of you stunning opportunities on malachite pseudomorphs, and I still have them. You haven't scooped them up, and I'm talking about so inexpensive. I just happened to buy a flat. I was able to offer and a long time ago. So I don't even know what they're going for now, but I know a pseudomorph in a well-defined crystal shape of malachite replacing azurite is a unique item in the pseudomorph world. And next time I show one, for especially as inexpensive as I have shown them, I would highly recommend you getting them. Then you have a specimen and you can see exactly, you know, what azurite crystals can look like. Now, azurite can take on different forms, just like so many other different crystals, but it depends on whether you have singles or groups. This aesthetically versus like a single azurite. Raven actually collects azurite. So she has some incredible, beautiful azurite single crystal specimens. And personally, I love, look at the size of this. This is what they would call like a small cabinet specimen. But it is just richly decorated with crystals. And back here, you have hematite, which is, of course, the red. And you have the goethite, which is this black combination or a combination of iron oxides. So, you know, the goethite changing to hematite, it's actually very attractive when you have these blending, the blending of colors like this. This is from the Bubekir, the Oriental region of Morocco. Morocco ranks right up there with the best of malachite and azurite specimens in comparing them to Namibian specimens from the Sumed mine and even the DRC, Democratic Republic of the Congo. Those azurites, yeah. Moroccan azurites are stunning. So this looks like it has a nice natural base that it can self-display quite well in many different angles. That you could display it in that way in 1 month or in showing off. Look at that. Look at that angle. There's a stunning angle right there for you. Now, this specimen in some of the mineral dealers, I happen to be cruising some of them, and probably not a wise idea, because when I think of all the specimens I've already sold at the prices that I sold them at, oh my, I have been giving away dollar bills for dimes. It's not you're not buying a quarter for a nickel. You're buying a dollar bill for a nickel, it seems, at some of my mouth just dropped. A specimen, when I looked at it, I thought it was $1,250. I thought, well, okay, that's maybe worth that. I looked at it again, and it was $12,500. There was another zero on it, and I could not get there in my mind. And it was an attractive specimen, but easily 10 times more than what I considered the value. And what I would have sold it at, I would have considered the value, okay, maybe the $1,250 range, but what a Shawn price on it would have been $300 or $400. And here it was going for $12,500. And it was specimen. After I started getting curious and starting looking up some of the specimens that I have sold previously and what similar specimens are going for in the real mineral market. And I have to admit, part of me was a little crushed at how much money I didn't make. But I have been provided for. The universe will take care of me. And I have all of you very loyal and loving and empathetic and compassionate, wonderful, wonderful friends and clients of Gem Shoppings and of this show. And for that, I am grateful for, and no amount of money can replace that. All right. So this specimen, you can see it is a real beauty, and the color is exactly as you're seeing it. It is that super double deluxe triple neon backflip blue that you will not see anywhere else except in a fine azurite like what you're looking for in a specimen. And that is a beauty indeed. So how about that? Beauty indeed for only, wow, look at all that. $77. Only $77. And yeah, that price says it all. By the way, on that kyanite, since I'm looking at the blue in this, it reminded me that the word kyanite is a Greek word from, and of course, Miss Penny couldn't straighten out my Greek that doesn't exist, except to say euro, and tzatziki sauce. Tzatziki sauce. I think I got those two Greek, those are my Greek words. Kyanos, which is the Greek word for blue. Now, all the different words from all the other languages I know, the Romance languages, it's always something to do with azul or something like that. For blue, kyanos, I just, that's why it's Greek to me, because I have no idea how they got to that. But being that the Greek language was one of the major origin of all languages, then I will believe that. So, quite interesting. And the color in kyanite is a iron charge transfer. So it's a Fe2 plus 3 plus, similar to the blue color in the charge transfer that occurs in aquamarine that drives off the green. It is a charge transfer. In other words, at an aquamarine, it's reversible even. So, oh, by the way, only because I had the word reversible before I forget, which my mind can do that, on the meta-altunite slash altunites. In other words, meta-altunite is when altunite becomes dried out. And as long as the crystals aren't fireable and don't fall apart, you can actually reverse it. You can actually hydrate meta-altunite back to altunite. So I just wanted to say that because I know that Matt has some meta-altunite. I think Brad has some meta-altunite. I have full-blown altunite that I won't sell. It's in the corner of my unused room, shooting its ray beams of unseen particles through the floor into the basement. Yeah. Okay. So lot of fun you can have with those Geiger counters. I tell you what. And it's also great for checking radon. Remember, here in Georgia, especially North Georgia, we are in radon country. And beware the degradation of uranium as it goes through all of its isotopes till it finally winds up as lead. All right, this specimen at only $77, what about you? But wait, there's more. Oh yeah, Shawn, we call it hitting a pegmatite around the house. When I find a box of goodies, it's like hitting a pegmatite. Now, you guys know, remember last week I talked about or the week before I showed you a pegmatite. I had a piece of it where it's quartz, feldspar, mica together. When you have those three minerals together, that combination is the magic mix that you need to allow so many other minerals to form. Tourmalines, beryl families, apatite, all kinds of other minerals can be found formed and in with pegmatites. So I say that, poor Raven, she has to put up with when I say, I hit a pegmatite, darling. That means I found a box of rocks that I hadn't seen in a while. So I hit a pegmatite. Wait till you see this one. This is item 118. Let's see. That's the one I gave you. So I'm really close to it. Yep, here it is. It is item 118. 7124. 118 7124. This is, let me just put them next to each other for a moment, because look at that. Can you imagine that in your display case? Look at that color combination. So you can have this one, you could have, a little bit of malachite, or you can have that one where the malachite is like the blob, the original blob. Taking over. All right, so we're going to remove this one, not to confuse anybody, and we're going to put this one back in the spotlight. Whoa! Again, you get that electric super double neon blue and the green combination with it. Now that is, of course, malachite, and malachite often forming in that kind of botryoidal form. And in this case, it is not replacing, it's not a pseudomorph, it's actually just an additional growth, but wrapped around, and I'm sure over, and on top of the azurite. What a beautiful mix of the two. And as Lateef takes us on a tour a little closer in right here, we're going to see just what else. I love it when you get these little darling areas of a puff of malachite. See them all? See all these little dots? See, you didn't notice them till, that's why we're coming in close. So you could actually, once you see them, then see, they start becoming noticeable. And it's like, wow, how cool is that? Then you also have some goethite. That's the darker mineral. And let's turn this around. And there's the hematite. There's the red. So goethite and hematite are both iron oxides. One is just a little bit different chemically. So they can often are found next to and with each other. And as I look at this, see, you look at things like this. And what that looks like is where there were additional crystals that the azurite had grown around. Not sure exactly what they were. These look like what they call casts. So what happens is there might have been, and often what the case is, selenite or gypsum. And you'll get the azurite to that forms around them, then gypsum is very soluble. In other words, it doesn't take much for it to be dissolved away. It could be even anhydrite, which even dissolves away even more so. And when it does, then it leaves the cast of where the crystal was. And so that's kind of neat. I didn't notice that till right now, but it's you should see. I don't have this kind of TV at home. It's not this monster size super HD screen I'm looking on, and it's kind of looking through a microscope type of situation. Look at these neat little pockets down here. So it looks like there's goethite growing over the top of the azurite, because let's see here. Yeah, so you have the two forming together. Wow, look at this. There's so much geology going on here. It makes someone like me just go crazy. Okay, and then, I would venture to bet. Okay, so I've said goethite, hematite, azurite, and malachite. I'll bet there's at least 2 more minerals that we're not even seeing. Hey, can you take us right in here, sir? Look at this. This is what I like to see, where you have 2 crystals from either side that are growing together. And then, let's see here. There we go. There it is. And look at that. And let me put this in the light a little bit more for you. When they come together like that, if they grew all the way together, then you would just have a solid line. But when you still have enough gap that the crystals didn't grow into each other, then you can get a really nice sparkly interior where you get them coming from the top and the bottom. That one you'll have to look back into. Look at that formation. That one. Look into that one. Let's do that. Let's look into that. I'm going to bring in light and then give you the ability to. Oh, you might be right. Look at that. Look at that. Wait. Yeah, that has some nice crystals back in there. It has some larger ones too. See those large reflections off the faces? Yeah. That one indeed deserves whoever is lucky enough to get this one some looking at home, because I see a large crystal in the middle. You can see it right there. And I'm just wondering where that goes and how big that is. Look at all these crystals, actually. That is a whole group of crystals covered with hematite, and this is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Here we go. Look at this. So you have a whole series of azurite crystals, and it's only a matter of time often before that malachite will end up replacing them, as you've seen in the pseudomorphs before. Look at that. So this is very colorful. Look at back in there. There is something back in there. I see it in the back. Wow. Ooh, that's where I wish I was a little person. So look at all the little malachites again. All these, and that one there, look at that back in there. Okay, having way too much fun. And that's the whole idea about minerals. You don't have to be mature. You don't have to be an adult. You can be giddy, jump up and down, and act like a little school kid over rocks and minerals. It's quite all right. As a matter of fact, hold on. I got to show you hold on. Sorry if I make any noise on the mic. What Raven got me. for leaving me to fend for myself for a week. So you saw the t-shirt for Father's Day that Summer, her daughter, had got me. So look at the keychain, and I didn't have a keychain that she got me. Check it out. Easily distracted by rocks. And boy, a truer word has never been spoken. Everything on this earth, no matter what product it is, starts off from the ground. From the ground, from rocks. Yep. Okay. Anyway, only have one beautiful, it's almost like a 50-50 combo like this on this. So extremely attractive and contrasting. And it is one that you could try to look for in a show for a long time before you would find something this attractive, especially at the price I'm offering this for, which is only $88. $88 on that. A jewel. Now wait. Now one more. Sticking with one more. Staying in the family. Then I've got to clean up my little mess here. Take a look at what's coming up. Item 118-7224. 118-7224. And we are bringing this baby back to the Inspiration Mine in Arizona. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the Ray Mine, which has incredible gem silica. And then the other one that does as well is the Inspiration Mine. And look at this. Not gem silica, so the price is affordable. Look at this. Arizona malachite. Look at the druzy malachite. And then you have the banded chrysocolla. And if you didn't know it was chrysocolla, as soon as you see this robin's egg blue, then you know it is. But a lot of chrysocolla is mostly green. I've seen more greenish chrysocolla than I have blue. The blue is really fine stuff, or it is considered the really nice, desirable, fine stuff. But the blend of blue and green together, to me, that is the chrysocolla I like. Look at this, and then I'm going to show you several things about this. You can see that this is the malachite layer over the chrysocolla. All we needed in this piece was to throw in some silica somewhere, and I tested some different areas of this, and I didn't see any, but I didn't test it all. I have a feeling some of this may go in and be some silica, but mostly, look at this. It is the beautifully patterned and banded look of chrysocolla that you want. Let's go in right here for a moment and then look at this. That chrysocolla, that blue right there. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Look at these patterns. Isn't that? It's kind of like an eye there. I could see a spooky face in there if I wanted to. The druzy malachite, that's really attractive. And something you don't often see. You see fibrous, or you see those little acicular needles of green malachite, but druzy like that, not as much. So as we cruise along this piece, you can see here's a perfect, look at that. Let's turn this around. This is perfect to show you how what's going on here, because this creeping kudzu malachite. And for those not familiar with kudzu here in the South, kudzu is an invasive vine that will literally, if you're standing in a field too long, you will be covered in it by the next morning. There's outlines of school buses, there's outlines of homes, tree lines, fence lines. It is so I forget how many millions of acres they said are under kudzu right now. And so when Raven's daughter Summer actually named their dog kudzu because they think it's beautiful. I said, don't ever say that around a Southerner. It is a horrible weed along the same lines as English ivy, and it will weigh a tree down and eventually pull down a native tree. And the one thing that I do know, groundhogs love living in it. They love digging their burrows and hiding underneath it and whatnot. But it does make a good jelly. This flowers smell good, and the only thing that eats it are goats. Okay, so this is reminding me, yeah, you see where my mind wanders, of kudzu. This is the malachite taking over what was the surface. You can see spots of the chrysocolla that was, and it still is, underneath this. Look at, yeah, all this. So the chrysocolla came first. Look. Yeah, we haven't gotten back there yet. And then look at this little patch. This little patch left right here where the malachite didn't grow over it. Then this is my favorite angle, actually. Look at this. It's an alligator. Maybe? Yeah. Look at the banding. That's why I had to put in the description, banded chrysocolla. There even may be a band of malachite in here. You'll have to just look at it close and determine that. But obviously, when you get into that blue right there, that is wonderful, classic robin's egg blue chrysocolla. Look, that is so attractive. And all the way around, then look over here, you have blue spots everywhere. So you have, and then, so here is the other side. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. There we go. I mean, even this is beautiful. Yeah, you read my mind, Latif. Take us on in for a moment. You have a botryoidal formations here. When you get into some of these other colors, you're going to find that there's a high probability that they're actually a different mineral. There are so many minerals that are so closely related that just a little bit different chemical makeup will give you another mineral. We wouldn't always be able to check that. Let's go in there, Latif. How far can you go in? Let me get my, let's see what you got there. And I want to see, oh, there you go. Yeah, you got plenty of light. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. And then look it back up in there. Wow. And then let's see. Look at those little, let me tilt that up. Can you, hold on, I need 3 hands to get a pointer. Right here. What is that? I know. I don't know either. But that's beautiful back in there. But what's underneath the ledge? Let's see. Oh, look at back under the ledge in there. See, this is what you do when you get a specimen at home. You get out the light. You sit down when you have some, have a cup of tea, and just with magnification and start exploring and look at every little nook and cranny. I see in this several other potential minerals. Wait. Look what is right. You see that in these, look, a series of, yeah. That is kind of interesting. It looks like we're looking at the side of a giant cliff with the Dead Sea Scrolls hidden right in there. Look at that. Yeah, that's, I'm sure, probably a different mineral. In the copper mineral family, it is so easy for that to be the case. Can you focus through to right there for me? No, let me do it then. All in. Wow. This specimen is so enamoring that I can study on that for quite some time. Let me try. I clean. Oh, I wanted to try something. Here, let me see if you can focus through this. Can you focus to the part?
Yes, so
Okay, wait. So, oh, I see. Okay, hold on. Wait, let me get in the light. Hold on, let me put the light down here and move this gizmo in and out. Wow.
got it.
Oh, I'm figuring out where. There we go. Hold on. It's in reverse. Look at that. What are those little crystals? Why am I? Wait a second. What? There we go. I got to move this up. It's like in reverse for me or something. There we go. And then let me. I'll show everybody what this is I'm using. And it's mostly for gemstones. And so I'm a little bit out of there we go, figured out. Yeah, I see how it works. Now, oh, I see how this works. Now you can focus when I give you some space to do it in. Okay, and hold on. And then I know you need light for your part. Okay, so let me show everybody if you can see into the corners of this. This actually is a measuring unit that will measure little tiny size stones while they're in a setting. And there's gauges, measuring gauges along the edge to do that with. But I wanted to see how it would work, or if it would work for doing something like this by way of giving you another light source, because this actually has its own light inside it. Which actually, let me try one more thing. Let me turn the light off inside it. On. Oh. Okay. Well, that might work a little better. Let me turn it to an angle. I just wanted to see. No, you can't see. We'll have to try it on a stone. Okay, so one of my little gizmos I wanted to show you later, but trying to get some use out of it now. Look at that specimen. It is displayable on many different angles. You can see there is, I don't even think we looked at that part. Look at that little concentric area. Look at all the chrysocolla there. Just a lot going on. Look at that. That is a double-sided piece. In other words, look at that. Attractive on both sides. This is from the inspiration mine. So if you're collecting Arizona, that's a beautiful look right there. Arizona minerals. This is from my own personal collection. Just a fine, unique piece from a very desirable location. Especially if you collect copper minerals, then you have to have one from the Ray mine and have to have one from the inspiration mine, or else your collection isn't complete. Here is a really good opportunity for you in getting in on this butte. And I have a really good value for you on this. And I am going to make this one only, well, okay. These have been with me so long. They're part of my family. I have enjoyed them and loved them. $88. Only $88 on that. Let me do some cleaning up, and we'll be right back. All right. You can see it right there. All the liability exposed, radioactive Madagascar uranosursite. Now, you see that word uranosursite? I looked it up, of course, for pronunciation, and 3 different pronunciations came up, and 3 different pronunciations came up. Yeah. So the most, the one I believe would be the correct one would be the uranosursite. One of them said actually uranosurkite, and another one said urano. I don't even know how the rest of it went. I didn't even know how they got there. It didn't matter. There's no way I was pronouncing it, whatever they were saying. So this is a piece that has a special box, but it's not that special. Here is my idea of a great way to give a gift of any mineral specimen. I happen to be using this box as a special way, as a way to help cut down on the count per minute. The distance and the more type of shielding you can have, the better, especially on the ones that have a very hot type of signature. Now, you know that 30 to 50 counts per minute is about normal for the regular environment in the air we have, and you can see it's reading that. So as we bring this in closer to the box, we'll see if it makes a difference. And you can see that even right up to it, I have the count per minute down to the 300 to 500 range. And that is about equivalent of a zircon. Yeah, many zircons are in that range. So really, really extremely safe at this level outside the box. Now, here is a fantastic sheet for information. And this is everything you want to know about uranosursite. It has, what's really important here is the uranium percentages. So it is made up of barium, uranium, oxygen, phosphorus, and water. And it has the molecular weight and then the breakdown of the percent of barium in it, 14% uranium, and then uranium as uranium oxide, and then what is as pure uranium. The phosphorus as P2O5, and then the actual weight by of phosphorus by itself without the other. So of pure uranium, this is approaching 50% uranium oxide, 44% pure uranium by weight. Here's the empirical formula. Here's the way it forms. The locality of its original location, and name for the composition, and for the Greek word for falcon, because it was discovered in Falkenstein, Germany. Name and pronunciation, well, I just did that for you. All right, now this stuff is for the real geeks, so we'll just go skip by that. This is more for the geeks, but a little bit more understandable, like color, diaphaneity, which is the transparency of it, and the hardness, which is soft, about like gypsum. Luminescence, fluorescence, but it's not always fluorescent. Doesn't have to be. Just if it is, that's what it can do. Luster, pearly streak, light yellow. Here is other than Mindat, an amazing webmineral.com reference site, and I do have to credit them because of the extremely technical information they give that far out exceeds even some of the information that Mindat gives. Now, that's just a portion of that because I folded it and made it that way so that it would fit when they ship it in the same size. Look at that. All right. Now, just a little warning, caution required. Here's the box. You can get these boxes at any of your hobby store. That one man's name, I'm just going to say it, Michael's. They have these boxes. They're not expensive. And you can easily stain them or paint them any color or anything you want. All right. We open the box. Now remember, this isn't just a way to display a radioactive mineral. This will work for any neat mineral you want to give as a gift, or if you keep them with the lid up as a display at a particular angle. Now, I wrap this in aluminum foil, but after doing testing, and Matt, with your Geiger counter, you're going to find that aluminum foil only blocks out certain levels of certain particles, because let's check now that the wood top is back and we are screaming. You should see Latif. Latif is hiding behind. Here, Latif, hold it from there, and I'm just going to show you how it drops down. He's okay. He's funny. Yeah, it's funny. You guys needed to see that. That was a riot. Okay, so you can see it's screaming. So the wood and the wood made a difference, and the aluminum foil. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. So we're screaming at over 20,000. And like I said, I did some tests, and I don't know how. I need to look into this. I think in some ways the aluminum actually accelerated it. It's not supposed to. It was like I developed some kind of like a nuclear reaction that it was a catalyst to a faster reaction. I don't know. I didn't want to believe it. So this aluminum is for show and just to protect it, because I might as well have wrapped it in, paper mache for any kind of blocking this really did. But I did wrap this in a certain way to where you get as many folds over as possible. It's the way I wrap a lot. Now, we're not there yet. So you can see then we're down to, and I did it this way on the rock just because that way no aluminum foil would damage any of the crystals. But wait, we're going to set that to the side. Let me show you. Here is the way it could look if you want to display. I printed one of these out for you. This is in Web Mineral as well. They give you, it's an easy, and all of you can use this for whatever mineral, and it is fantastic. It gives you, these are how to categorize minerals officially. I didn't put my sloppy left-handed writing in here. So Matt, if you want to, or whoever gets this, I say Matt because I think he's the right person for this piece, because it does require care. The locality you can write, and whatever notes you want, maybe count per minute or whatever. And this will just come out with any type of sharp, without doing much damage to it, because let me show you. This is what I really wanted to show you, and this will come out as well. This is fantastic. Estimated exposure. Now, again, you can convert count per minute to, and unless you know becquerels, unless you know rems, unless you know rads, unless you know all of the curies, these are all different ways to measure radioactivity. And for example, when you see the specimen, we're talking about 1/10 of a gram maybe of actual weight of the mineral. So here's the important part. Estimated exposure in millirems per hour if held in hand for 1 hour, 0.01. Okay, so now wait, let's go and look at this part. Look at me. here in the bottom. So in the bottom, you can use this for additional information. This is the weight of pure uranocercite in grams, blah, blah, blah. Okay, note, it has a conversion of microsieverts per hour to millirems per hour. The maximum permissible adult dose is 50,000 millirems per year for the hands. Now, eyes, this is important because when you see this specimen, I had my eye up to it with my super powerful lens 1 inch away. And so when I saw this, I felt a little bit more comfortable. Lethal dose exposure, 400 to 500,000 millirems. Now, okay, so the adult dose per year, in other words, what is allowable, that, an acceptable number, 50,000. So if you want to show your fans 50,000 millirems per year, if we go back up here and look, this is millirems per hour if held in the hand for 1 hour. Okay, so how long is anyone going to hold your specimen? 0.01 millirems. Do you want to divide and look at 0.01 into 50,000 per year and see how many hours it would take to, or even at 15,000 for the eyes, how long? Let's see, I could do that, but you basically have to have it glued to your eye and wear it around for a year, and then you still wouldn't get enough exposure. In other words, the R word sounds much more scary than it actually is. Now, I do not want to downplay that because this is nothing to be casual about. Uranocercite is actually listed as under radioactivity as considered a very strong radioactive mineral. Anytime you're approaching 50% uranium content in makeup of it, just like that's close to autunite is at 49%. So yeah, they are going to be really strong, and you're going to see that it doesn't stop with alpha or beta. They have alpha, beta, and gamma emissions just by the sheer odds and chance of. All right, so I made this up for you. I actually, with my little left-handed, using right-handed scissors, because at a young age I had to learn how to use scissors with my right hand instead of my left. I didn't even know they had left-handed scissors. When I did, it's like, wow, this is so much easier. But by then, I was right-hand equipped for using scissors. So I put this in the bottom and this other part, this in the top and this other part in the bottom. This is safety first. This is the information you need. Here, government estimate of average annual exposure is 360 milli. This is just what who is exposed to uranocercite? I think it has to do more with just your average exposure to radiation in general. 360 millirems. Well, if you, again, do the math and do that divided by that, that gives you a whole lot of time that it would have to be, you'd have to be exposed to it before there's any danger. But, you consider it and treat it like it's plutonium, like it's something that, will melt you in a moment. And that way, you'll never go wrong. You should have seen me. Just like when I checked that plastic bag, it was sitting here on the table, and I set the Geiger counter down on it, and I got a count of 300 count per minute off the front of a plastic bag. I had to go and wash that bag to see if it was in the plastic or if it was something that somehow picked up on the surface. And the spooky part was it was something that picked up on the surface. And this was actually something that came back from, not me, it was from another department here at Gem Shopping. So it probably still has something to do with crazy Shawn and his minerals. But again, certainly all within the safe range, because everybody is, all kinds of people wearing zircons with a higher count per minute than that. Okay, now, so I'm going to put Oh, wait, was there something more? Hold on. Wait, I thought there was, maybe. Um, that's just it. When I made these, I made them so perfect that I made it so you can make copies of it after I destroy it. Yes, look at this. So I thought there was something else. And this is, when you do it this way, and you have all the information in one little area. Okay, so this is a plain sheet of paper. It actually helps cut down also any layer, every layer you can. It does help to cut down on any kind of radiation. This is another piece of paper I left in there for you to put notes on, anything that you might deem relative to the specimen. And okay, so nothing underneath there. So we'll put this back up here. Oh yeah, we're going to get to that specimen for you. And let me put this, straighten this out for you. I did such a nice, neat job at home. And now, with the world watching, all 10,400 subscribers watching at the same time, I know you all are. And I did such a good job on this. Okay, so we'll put this back in the top where you can fill it out as you wish. Then this is what I wanted to show you. I have the entire sheet of the rest of the geek information. And here is, again, the duplicate, so you can have it on hand and make copies of it. But again, if you go to that site, you can have it. And then additional information there. So I've made you an extra copy. It fits perfectly up there and adds additional blocking abilities to the piece in general. Now, let's get to what this is all about. A lot of you may have never seen this. You will not be as impressed as you might have thought you would be, but in the world of these type of minerals, this is, the majority of them are found in this form. Now, I touch it as little as possible. Look at that. Look at that. And here is, okay, so let me just spin this around because you have it on all sides. Look at that. And look at that. You can actually see how crystallized. Many times it's massive and you don't get to see crystallization at all. It's just like it looks like a dusting. Let me put a little more light on there and let's look right into here. There we go. There we go. And look at those little tabular crystals, and in no rhyme or reason, often going in many different directions. And they are everything from kind of a squarish look to triangular look. And they're beautiful. The color, everything about them. And as we keep turning it, look at this. This is not a dusting. This is, let's look at this angle right along here. You can see then how raised they are off of the surface. Not a dusting at all, but full-blown crystals. As you can actually see them sparkle. Oh yeah, let's see. You can tell he's a rock hound. You can, going to the parts that are really important. Look at that vein. Look at that vein of uranocercite running right through there. Now, let's look one more time at this side with, look at that. Now that is canary yellow, neon bright. Look at that. Look at that. And this is what makes uranocercite. This is from Madagascar. Madagascar isn't that well known, but no place is that well known for uranocercite. It is found in pretty much everywhere that there is deposits of radioactive minerals, because it is often associated with, like, let's say uranocercite will be also found with uranophane. Uranophane, uraninite. Uraninite is one to remember because it is nothing but uranium and oxygen, and it is a primary ore, and it is black. So add the other elements to this one, and you get a much prettier color. But look at those crystals. So this is actually really attractive, and it's one you're not going to see now. With the box and all the trimmings on it, we got it down to about 500 count per minute, 300 count per minute. Let's see. Latif's running. He's running for the door. Yeah, he's going to freak. Okay, watch it on camera, Latif. Okay, this is why I have caution everywhere. This is why I would prefer someone set up to be responsible like Matt, because, all right, you hear it screaming. Look at that, 34,000. No, the one I didn't bring in, it's all tunite. I made it up, inventoried it and everything, and it was over, it maxed it out. It was over 100,000 count per minute. And it wasn't that it was all that tremendously dangerous. I just didn't want anyone else exposed to it. This is a level, and inventory already knows not to touch the box. They're not even going to open it. They're just going to pass it along, because what it shows, that the way I've done it is safe for everybody to handle. So I got a little closer, and you can see even the difference of an inch. Now we're at 43,000. I almost wasn't going to offer this, but I knew, Matt, that you would, as a responsible buyer, and if I packed it right to ship, then it would be fine. Did you see where it actually tells you the acceptable weight by the Postal Service, what they will, the acceptable amount that they'll ship, and is spelled out on that sheet as well. So yeah, we're kicking it out there. This is next to the altunite. This is the highest reading I've ever had. So we'll put it right up there. There we go. 60,000, 63. Yeah. That's why it has a uranium content of almost 50%, and just like altunite did. So this. An amazing opportunity, and I was going to keep it, but since I'm keeping the altunite, I think, Matt, this was one that I found acceptable for you. And in the box with all the trimmings and everything, and the information that you'll enjoy reading, and also learning how to convert count per minute to microsieverts and all the other cool talk becquerels, everything you need to learn for collecting those type of minerals. And if you ever need to I don't know, does it work on skin moles? I have a few of those. Maybe I'll give myself my own radiation treatment. Might work. Anyway, I hate passing this up. I've kept it a long time, but only until now with you, Matt, knowing that how responsible, and since you have gotten what I really asked for you to get, the expensive Geiger counter, then, that's what made me decide that, yeah, I'll go ahead and offer this piece, because it's a rare opportunity to get in on something that you won't often see in the uranocercite. It's much less common than other ones. The altunite, they're out there. They're common. They're common because they also degrade upon drying out, depending on the type of crystal it is. And the other thing is, they can turn to dust. And dust, even if it's an alpha emitter, when you inhale the dust, that's the danger. So this doesn't do that. And that's another safety angle. So anyway, price on this, it's an excellent opportunity for you. You can have the box to either do something else with or to use it as a display, because what you can do is you build up the interior part of this to where the specimen sits about like there, you know. So in your display, so you can build up and make a little stand in there so that you can actually have the information with the lid leaning up and have the information. Let me show you. Yeah, this would be perfect. So you have that right there. You have that built up right there with the information sheet, and you have it in a display case, and it is perfectly fine if it's in a glass display case, Matt. And, you know, distance is everything. And for the amount of time anyone would be standing there looking at it, even if they stood there an hour, it's not going to harm them. It's going to be perfectly safe and fine. So picture this on like a black velvet with that yellow. Wow. With that behind it and whatever notes you can type in and whatnot. Very, very cool, huh? Okay. I'll make it a really good value for it. Only $115. Only $115, and I put a lot of time and research into that. And just to show you a way that I think helps display it. Well, the other thing is, if you need to close and go, in other words, pack up your specimens quickly and take them somewhere, or you know, someone's coming over and you know, maybe some little kids or something, and you don't want them there, then it only takes moments to close the box lid, drop the specimen, close the box lid, you put your display up, because it is made to do that. If you have these just sitting on a glass shelf with maybe a name card next to them and all, you don't have a box ready for them to be packed up and gone and moved out quickly, or just put up quickly. So that's another good way to look at it, is you can show and go quick enough. Only 115. All right, so I'm going to take a moment to put this up safely, and I'll be right back. All right. Now, if you ever wondered how tourmaline can form, well, of course, it can form in a pocket without anything around it, like a lot of the rhodochrosites did in the Alma mine, or the Alma King, I should say. That was that giant pocket room almost, where they broke into it, and can you imagine the walls just lined with Sweet Home rhodochrosite specimens? The feeling that must have looked like. The only pocket I ever have broken into, and it was an amazing thought, was down in Middle Georgia, in Greene County. So I'm actually going to tell you the county. There was an old amethyst mine that, unless you knew where it was and was told exactly where it was, you would never ever find it. And it had been trenched out, but there were little side feeder veins, and I actually found one of those, and I started digging into that vein on I still remember that day, a hot Georgia summer day, but that was when I was young and could deal with it, and Middle Georgia. But it didn't matter. Once I was on that vein, and I still will never forget the moment when with my chisel, I was chiseling away at the quartz vein, and the next hit with a chisel broke open into the end of a bug, this open pocket in the ground, and I looked in it, and it wasn't big. It was maybe only, maybe 10 or 12 inches deep, maybe 6 or 8 inches across, but I had never seen anything like that unless it was like a rabbit hole, part of a rabbit hole or something. And it wasn't. And I looked in it, and literally lining all the sides were these amethyst crystals pointing inward. And I still have them. I mean, I have given a few away to some, only because they're like Raven's got one of them, and it was light amethyst, but to me it was the finest amethyst on the planet because I had found it. And yeah, I didn't feel that heat that day any at all. It was like, I want to find more of these. And of course, dug more, didn't find any, but I didn't need to. That was it. That was my big Vug story. Of course, I have, opal mining stories from Australia, all these other mining stories that I've done, but I've never broken into a Vug, a pocket of my own. And until then, it was quite exciting. All right. These chose to grow, and then quartz came in and filled around them, or did they grow and solidify out at the same time? Crystallography is an entire science in its own, and you get some of these minerals, and you get 4 and 5 minerals in the same cluster. And you wonder, how did each one of these had to crystallize out at its own particular temperature and whatnot? We're going to grow our own crystals here in the show. I keep telling you that, but many things have held me up before getting to do that. But we're doing it. We did it last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago by now, and we're going to do it again. It worked out incredibly well. We were even able to color our own crystals, and all. We're going to do the same. Okay. This is look at this. So it's a small cabinet specimen, and it's just almost a pure white, just a little bit of cream color to the quartz. And since I have Clevelandite on there, Clevelandite is a type of feldspar, and it is identified usually by the way it forms, which will be blades. And if we look in a little closer right here, you'll see that the feldspar, as we look a little closer, is lined up these thin little tabular blades. And that is one way. See, you can see these tabular blades. There we go. And that's how you can tell that it's the variety Clevelandite. And you can see them there contrasting against the quartz. So a really nice addition. You can see the termination from the end of the pink. So if you have any tourmalines or collect any tourmalines, this would be a great specimen. Camp, let's look right here. What have we got going right across here? Look at that. Look at that little slender crystal. Kemp, you're going to come away with a whole better appreciation of what you look at upstairs after seeing where it all starts and what it takes to bring you a nice, clean, clear, pink, faceted gem of tourmaline. Because it can start with something as thin and slender as that. I don't think I have noticed that crystal on here before. That is quite the, look at that. Look at that. Something like that in a specimen is oftentimes the money shot. It's oftentimes makes it the value that it is. And I did not notice it the first time I showcased this. And it probably sold if it would have, but it should now, because I'm not going to change the price. And that little beautiful addition, and you can also see in all these cream color, those are all Clevelandites. So you have a lot of other Clevelandite crystals. Look at this. Look at this sidecar crystal coming up right along the side of the bigger crystal. And then it gets larger itself. That's interesting. I don't think I noted. I didn't look at this one that well before. I can't believe it wasn't bought for the price I priced it at, and so should certainly sell now. Wow. I love that. I love that. And look at all those. Okay, so yep, I'm very tempted, wanting to change the price, but I tell you what, if it doesn't sell this time around, that one's going back home. It was only goodness, $78. I'm going to keep it at $78 because it is worth $178. Latif couldn't believe how cheap I had priced that and couldn't believe it didn't sell. And now it really should sell. That one little extra crystal like that makes all the difference in the world sometimes for the aesthetics, because that had to survive the mining, the shipping, me packing it up, a couple of times, wrapping it up, and it would easily, any pressure applied or whatnot, break. And it hasn't. So that's value. Now, opal. I'm going to show this one last time because 101 9021. 101 9021. Okay, here is that opal from Spencer, Idaho. The United States only has a couple opal producing places in the country, and Nevada's one of them, and Idaho is another. You have some weird opal down in Louisiana, which I actually have some of, where it has intermixed and grown in between like sand grains. So very rare. This is an opal that is a rhyolite formed opal. We had a trivia question about that. And you can see it was almost in a geode type form. So rhyolite has to do with a volcanic origin. And this is Spencer opal. Now, here's the kick. When I see Spencer opal advertised for sale, they are cut stones, and once they are cut, you could claim them to be from Spencer, Idaho, and them have been from Cooper Pedy. You completely lose the identifying characteristics. And opal, especially something between this and the Cooper Pedy opal, it's not identifiable for origin. It's not like rubies or sapphires. It doesn't have inclusions. It doesn't have particular crystal growth. It doesn't have, once you remove it from its origin, what it formed in, it loses its identity, whether it formed in a sedimentary rock like Australian opals, or whether it formed in a volcanic type of rock that would tell you that it's not an Australian stone at all. So you can get boatloads of origin is everything. You can have the same color ruby, one from Burma and one from Madagascar or Mozambique, and the Burma ruby is going to be more valuable. Origin makes a difference. If you have a Cooper Pedy opal that looks identical to a Spencer, Idaho opal, the Spencer, Idaho opal should be worth a lot more. So when I see these Spencer, Idaho opals selling for as inexpensive as they are, and as many of them as there are, I can only wonder what the real origin of them truly is. Let me show you, because I have cut opal from every place there is, and for the most part. You saw this Honduran opal, so I've worked with that you didn't even know I had. The secrets I hold. Let's go in and show you what makes this really special. And what you're going to find is the banding, the beautiful layers of color. And there is a major banding of color in this. And if you follow this band of color, yeah, thanks, Kemp, just get in there. There we go. Look at how thick the color bar is. And then let's follow this one around. It continues the same thickness, the same intensity of color at the same level, which is important, going completely around. It gets to what the matrix or the rhyolite here, but then if we skip around there, it picks it right back up. If a cutter wanted to, here is, well, first, let me show you one other magical line, and it's a red color bar. Look at this. Let me get my pointer. There is a red color bar, and I used to always call them red chasers. I knew guys that would cut an opal to shreds chasing red. They were red chasers. Red being the supposed rarest and most valuable color. And it didn't matter. The least little bit of red, they'd cut away and ruin a beautiful opal to get a little bit of red in it. This color bar, as you can see these red, it pops up. And when you see it in person, you're going to see it is very strongly red. And this, it's thinner, but this color bar, and as I turn it, you can see the red and orange predominant, goes again, look at this, all the way around at the same level. Look at that. See, the red, still carrying that red all the way around. Now, if I wasn't interested in this piece as a specimen, with all the different saws I have, I could take my really thin saw, bring it right in here, and easily, well, I could make 3 layers, 4 layers if I wanted to, but easily cut underneath this layer right here, and then probably cut from the bottom up, making the bottom, making this side what would be the bottom. And that's one stone. Look at how large of an area. If there would be an area with a bad place in it, well, I could just cut it out or cut a different cab. Look at how many different stones could be made from it. This color bar, so I cut down through here, and then I have this stunning, really thick color bar to where I could put a dome to it and get a lot of, look at that, intensity. That's tempting. If none of you get this piece for what I'm asking for it, the value of the opal itself that it would cut, because I could take pictures of the provenance, the before and the after. All these stones I see, none of them offer a picture of the rough. That they're offering this opal as Spencer, Idaho opal. I'll bet most of it, because this is the stuff that's on Trick or Not, or I won't make some of my other fun names for these shopping sites. But there is so many ways to deceive that it's despicable, just despicable. But you can see how much color is in all these lines. And, if you take pictures along the way, then people would know they're getting a real Spencer opal. And I'd be really tempted to cut a big old opal or two out of this piece, since none of you are taking advantage of this opportunity. Here's the other funny thing. You see the word hyalite in there? Hyalite is a type of opal that is often, it's non-precious, so it doesn't have a play of color in it, but it is an opal that will often fluoresce a chartreuse color due to uranal oxides, in other words, uranium oxide. And just like in the uranium glass that I use a Geiger counter in these thrift shops to buy their $1 pitcher that is a beautiful purple or yellow color, and my Geiger counter tells me it's uranium glass and it is worth a lot of money. But no one would ever know that when they inherit it, when they pass it down, when they get it at a junk shop. They don't know. When they go and resell the stuff, they don't know. Who has $1,000 plus Geiger counters that are portable like that could even tell? And it only takes a moment to be able to tell. And that's another thing you can use them for. And you can get your money back on them in a hurry just doing that alone. Okay, hyalite. So hyalite often forms in a kind of bubbly botryoidal type of pattern, and it looks like clear little bumps. And so I used the Geiger counter on this, and I picked up some readings. And if we go in and if we look, let me show you. There we go. That's a good shot. Let me show you, because there's not only a rim. Here we go. So there's a rim of opal between this brown line, and you see above it, you see this little clear edge to it. That is one area that registers as potentially hyalite. Then these little veinlets that you can see of silica are as well. And then let me find it. Oh, here they are. So you have these little areas here and here. And then that one's actually got color. We flip this over, and let's see where they were. There was a group of them, and it may just take you with more time than I have exploring to find them again. But the Geiger counter actually told me and where they were, because there was a slight uptick in the radioactivity of it. I mean, really slight, going from like 50 to 70 or 80, but it's just enough to be able to be the giveaway. So you can see these little areas off of here that are individual separate pockets, and I don't see them right now, but there's an area of little botryoidal formation ones as well. But that aside, the money shot is the incredible plays of color in this that are just well, no one's gotten this yet. So this is and you know, Raven and I both love this piece, but if you're a collector of opal, you don't have this one. You don't have this one, most likely. And if you don't have it, then this is the chance to get it. I am actually going to sale price it before I then have to decide what I'm going to do with it, which may be very well to cut it up, because it's kind of like college. I would love to cut into a piece like this. If no one's going to buy it for the rare specimen the way it is, even though I may offer it elsewhere. Okay, so here we go. Sale price on this. You're not going to believe it. Only $158. $158. That would cut stones worth well in excess of that if you were to even cut them up. Okay, I've got what? Oh yeah, we got to rock and roll. I got a whole bunch of stuff never shown before. But first, since we're talking about opal, 118, 22, 24. 118, 22, 24. And let me show you this. This is that, I think it's like the last of the Thoroit opals I have left. And so if you don't have one of those stunning Thoroit opals, get in on them. Thoroit is a particular area of Queensland where the Thoroit opals are found. And in that particular area, they form in the Boulder opal this unusual but very identifiable pattern of lines that look like what you're looking at. And once you see them, that look at all that beautiful opal in between, and it's like they're running in the veins. Look at that. Look at those incredible colors. So you have your classic Boulder opal, which is mostly ironstone, and then look at the colors coming out of. Look at that. Isn't that neat, Kemp? Pretty cool. You don't see cool stuff like that upstairs.
Wow.
No.
Looks designed.
Yeah. Kemp said it looks designed. It does. Except Mother Nature, the greatest designer of all, did the designing on this. Yeah, it does look like a very custom designer piece. And you don't see much of that. Of an inexpensive stone, which this, compared to other items that you see, to me, for the amount of money, you get so much more look. Here we go. I am even going to sale price this one. Let's make this one a opportunity of a lifetime, and only $78. Only $78 on that beauty. And I think that's the last one I really have to offer. And it is a amazing one. Look at all the different colors at all the different angles. I think it's got them all just scattered in a unique, one-of-a-kind way. Look at that. And it stands up and displays on its own. Ha! Look at that. All right. Well, I get the next item. What a great shot with that green just jumping right out there. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's look at item 919419. Okay, this is a multiple. I only have 10 left. I started off with, I don't know, dozens of these. I have not shown these in years because they were actually somehow got in a box upstairs in the inventory office and were overlooked and never gotten back to me. So anyway, this is so cool. This is the true stone that has been to space and back. It's kind of, made it to the Kármán line. Let's put it that way. Moldavite. And I'll let you read that for a moment and while I talk. So this was a tektite. A tektite is named after the area that it strikes. So you have there's only 7 tektite areas in the world for the most part, and one of them is actually here in the state of Georgia. They're called Georgiites. So yeah, you can actually find tektites. Now, they're not going to be green. Most tektites are brownish color or dark color, but they all are glassy or very silica glass-like, and they occur when a meteor strikes the surface of the earth, sending with enough force to send the material up into space, but not so far that it keeps on going. Gravity pulls it back down to earth in what they call the strewn field. which depending on the angle that the meteor strikes the Earth, in other words, meteors don't enter the Earth at a perfect 90-degree angle, so to speak, to the surface of the Earth. They come in at often very slight angles, 10 degrees, 15 degrees, to where when they hit the Earth, they'll send out a huge strewn field out in front of it, often, sometimes, dozens of miles, even further. And so in the case of the Moldavite, it hit near the Moldau River, and hence that's where it got its name from. And then there was some that hit a lake called Besanitsa in Besanitsa, and they're called Besanitsas, and they're rarest formation, and they're very identifiable by a very unique pattern to the surface of them. So Moldavite, what it is basically glass, and it looks like glass. When you loop it, it should have little bubbles in it, little swirl lines, but very identifiable because they're always within a color range. Okay, so you read a little bit there. Let's look at them because they are all very similar to each other. You can see they have that wonderful, wonderful green color to them, and there, of course, is no two alike. And these are actually amazing sizes. Look at that. You can facet these. I've sold faceted ones. The bigger they are, the rarer. Like ones over 50 carats are really, which would be like 10 grams, really rare, and adds tremendous value. These are, the way these are done with the information, great gifts. Some of these could actually be faceted. Cut little stones from if you wanted to. And you can see that they all have a wonderful size overall and really unique shapes. So the tektites are, they come back down to Earth, and then people go and find them. They're harder and harder and harder to find. The main area for digging has been closed off as part of a national park now, and restrictions normally. So anyway, if you want to get one of these, I have 10 left. 10 left. And I am going to offer them for the same price that I have been, because they can't get any less than that. If anything, they should be more. But how about this? $8 each. Only $8 each, and you can get more than one if you want. For those, there's going to be a lot of people that, your friends that won't actually have a Moldavite. What a fantastic gift that would be to give them something they don't have, especially with the information card like that. That adds, again, another depth of information that makes it really attractive as far as gift giving. So you give them the card and the information, and they can set it up in a display case with the card behind it. There's all kinds of other things when you give them something like that with an information card. It just makes it look really classy. All right. So from dozens of pieces down to 10. This next item, I'm going to just take a moment because I wanted to for the last 2 weeks to show you something that you have not seen before. So this Latif isn't for sale. It is, I'm going to just demonstrate something or show everybody something they haven't seen. Okay, you may think you know what this is, all right, when you look at it. It's a doubly terminated quartz crystal, right? So what do we know that to be? A doubly terminated quartz crystal. We know it to be known as a Herkimer diamond, which is a doubly terminated quartz crystal in real life. But you have not seen one like this. This is not for sale yet, but it could be. The more I need teeth, I lost another big piece of one yesterday. the more all these items have to go. But what makes this so outstanding, and out of all of these that I have seen, bought, sold, cracked out of host rock, like you've seen me sell the host rock before, I have never seen anything like this one. Now let me get a white card behind this. I wish I only had 3 arms. Thanks, sir. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. Or not. Sorry about that, Count. I'm putting you to work. I know you're used to the camera in front. Okay, let me show you. What makes this so amazing is look at the center. I have to get the angle right. Most of the time, remember, there's carbon. It's actually called anthraxolite, I think. That's really reaching back there, but it's something real similar. There's actually a name for it based on the word anthracite for coal, the hardest variety of coal. And so it's a similar word to that. That's how I remember it. Because the black inclusions in these crystals, whether they be from Herkimer or Tibet. This most likely is from Tibet, the Tibetan doubly terminated. So if we go in as close as we can, are you all the way in? Oh, there we go. You're going to find that that is a, look at, there we go. That's the angle. A doubly terminated carbon inclusion. So obviously it's a crystal, and it's I'm going to go with my I know I'll be corrected. If I could look it up at this moment, I would. I think it's an anthracite. I think it's really close to that. I don't think it's anthracite. Anyway, it's really close to that. That is the only thing I think it could be. Look at that. That goes from one end of the crystal to the other, completely enveloped by the quartz crystal. I have never seen that. I could probably take a picture of this and put it in Mindat, and I might do that. I don't know. I always think that that's a neat thing to do, and then time gets away from me, and I don't. I need a child at home where that's better at those things. Anywhere I say, take a picture of this, upload it to here, and they would do it because that is their generation. Me, I would stumble around like I am now, just trying to pick the dang thing up. There's so many different ways. There we go. Look at that angle. This is outstanding. I have never seen anything like it. It's kind of small, but it doesn't matter. Find me one big that has that. Look at that. Latif, isn't that cool? That is pretty cool. So I'm going to do a little more. What's the name of it?
Anthracite or anthrazola?
Okay, anthracite is coal. Look up inclusion in Tibetan or carbon inclusion in Tibetan quartz or Tibetan doubly terminated quartz. And look for a word similar to what I had said. And see, and then maybe we'll have the info in almost real time for them. That is a stunning crystal, though. Anyway, I don't know how or where it even came from in my collection, but one day it just showed up, and I noticed it for something to be something different than normal, and I was right. That's kind of neat. So, been wanting to show you that. All right. Let's keep rocking and rolling here because I have the goods and you haven't seen anything yet. Let's look at Item number 1187624. Diamonds. Sold more diamonds in the other show. You guys, somebody out there likes them. Bunch of people out there like them because of the prices of how. Look at this. Smiley face. I had to do something, right? Okay, so in this parcel, it works out that you can see the 2.9 millimeter ones are all maybe ones, you can see these three very close in size to each other. I'm not going to take these out. It takes too much time. You can, the color, are HI, so decent color range, and SI clarity, so they have inclusions, but only really visible with a loop. These three are going to average around 30 points, around 10 points each. That one might be 11, maybe one's 9, but anyway, and these four are 5 points each. They were 2.2 millimeters, which is a 5-point stone. So you have 20 points in those 5, 30 points there, comes to a total of 50 points total weight. Those are the two most commonly used size stones when you're talking about stones that are visible. I mean, this micro pave stuff, I showed you that before in those 0.8, 0.9 millimeter gems. Someone actually bought that parcel that was 12 stones, 4-point total weight. That meant 3 stones to 1 point. That's tiny. With 57 facets on them. Same number of facets as on a, 5-carat diamond. It's amazing how they do that. So you can see maybe a slight difference in color in this one, but what great pair of earrings or single studs. These matching this smiley, happy face of diamonds. They're smiling because of how inexpensive they are. I have these at a price of only $87. $87. That is only $175 a carat. That is at least half of what wholesale would be. Actually anymore, it is even less than half. So yeah, I think whoever's buying the diamonds knows what a value they're getting, and that's why they keep buying them. Item number 1187824. If you have heard of fire agate, have you? Have we talked about fire agate in today's show? Slaughter Mountain. I love that name. In Arizona. I actually drove out by that way. Yep, that number is 1187824. I have a cut cabochon from Slaughter Mountain. Remember, the story is a long one, so I won't tell the whole story, but I had got in on the ability to get a collection, an entire collection of these a decade ago, and have been selling them off ever since. Only have a couple of stones left, unfortunately, but wow, these are, this is the, this is the opal of the agate world. This botryoidal, heck with it, put my fingers, God's given the tweezers. Look at this. So that botryoidal pattern. So this is a chalcedony. Limonite is the coloring agent and what helps create the colors and the diffraction of colors that you see, and that botryoidal pattern. Look at that. Blue and purple being the rarest and most valuable color in this case in the fire agate world. Reds and orange not as valuable or I guess I should say not as rare. Look at that. You can see some blue in that. Great patterns. The pear shape, you do not see them cut that often that way. And you can see that they are an agate oftentimes by still existing patterns in them. And you can see the translucency to that. But what you really want to see is that play of color. And this material, good material, is so hard to find anymore. it is, you can find a lot of the mid-grade stuff. That's why for Cindy to be able to get that parcel, I can't believe it's still available for her as well. So what's meant to be. So here's one left for you, Cindy, for a before and after if you want to scoop this one up, because I have this one for only $38. Only $38 on that gem. Now, oh, wow. Okay, let's look at 118-7424. 118-7424. I have one of the best values in one of the most kind of impressive crystalline looks is vanadinite on barite. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, those incredible caramel orange colors on those blades of barite. Barite is a barium sulfate. They actually mined a lot of barite in its day right up here where the Tellus Mineral Museum is. It made that county. One reason they put the museum up that way, it was first the Weinman Mineral Museum that was named after a big miner who dealt and mined with barite in Georgia here, along with the marble mining. Big stuff up that way. And then look at this side. Look at this side. Now, this black is, in this case, as we look a little closer to it, because it's going to matter when I show you the next piece, when you see it in this form, it is most of the time a manganese oxide. So a form of manganese oxide. Now, there can be black barite, but I can feel the lip of that, and this is a covering, a coating. So it is going to be another mineral, most likely a manganese oxide, along with these little specks and spots. But now, let's look down in here, if we can. Right, so all we need to do is see if the black area sparkles any. And I do think I see a little bit of crystalline sparkles there, but not on these other little black spots. And that's going to come into play in a minute. Look at these individual crystals. When they rest aesthetically like this one perched right on the end of that blade of barite, that is desirable. When you see them like hanging off of there, one like that, that just makes it aesthetically. Look at this. Look how this one, it's almost like it's in the whale's mouth. You see the eye there? There's the mouth open, and look at that crystal hanging right in there. It is those type of little things that you have to notice to really end up appreciating just what a unique piece each individual one can be. Now, look at the size of this in my hand, and since you always like to know that is a incredibly great shape if you wanted to make a pendant out of it. You should see the size pendants little Raven wears. She loves it. She gets away with these amazing pieces and compliments on them all the time that she has. This one I have priced at a giveaway opportunity of only $24. Yep, only $24 on that. Let's look at item 118-7524. 118-7524. Now, this is comparable in a way, and it's another one. But let's look at the two. Look at this guy. It's a real sparkler. You have a couple of different colors. You have some of the more tannish brown ones. And look at that strong orange color. Right along the ridge here, you have a couple little nicks that might have occurred where you see where they grew to the top of the other side of the pocket, where they had as much room as possible, or damage in getting them out of the mining pocket. Now, on this one, I am going to give you an opportunity at another really really good deal. Let me see. Yeah. How about this? Let me show you first. If you look at the black on this one, let's go in on any part of the black. Look at the black sparkling here. This is the difference between this specimen and the other one. You see all the black areas? They're all crystalline. Even on, look at this, see that? On the under backside of the barite blades. See how they all are sparkly and not that solid black that just covers them. By the way, look at those. I love it how they sit on top of the ridges of the barite blades. Okay, that's montramite. Do we have that up there? Is that in the description? I wanted to put that in there. Yeah, it is. So you'll have it in the description at home. Montramite is another mineral that you may not have, and it is it can be a new one added to your collection because it is a lead copper vanadate. So you know, because it is, we'll take this one away so we won't get confused. So regular vanadinite is a lead chlorovanadate. So it has lead, vanadium, and chlorine in it. Montramite has lead, copper, and vanadium. So different altogether, especially with the copper. And that's what makes the difference between the sparklies and just the black coating. I think the montramite is quite attractive. This is only $28. Only $28, and you can add a new, look at these on the back, a new mineral to your collection. Oh, look at even the little vanadinites. Wow, a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. And you might, again, like I said, add a new mineral. Oh boy, how much time? Yep, I am rolling along. Item 118-7724. Because I still would like to show you, it would only take 5 minutes if I can show you all the ways that I have my equipment packaged up for you. Okay, 118-7724. Let's look at this. Here is one. I can remember having this as a teenager. That is how far back this specimen goes. Let's open this up. Look at this. This is incredible. Mexican fluoroapatite. Now, I put fluoroapatite because a lot of people don't realize they just say apatite, but most all apatites are fluoroapatite. And that means that apatite can be a hydroxyl apatite, have chlorine apatite in it, chloroapatite, or it can be a fluoroapatite, which is what this is. In other words, it has fluorine as part of its chemical composition, which most apatite does. Now, this is mounted and you can remove it off of this styrofoam, but it was in the Perky box. And did you see how yellow the lid is on the Perky box? Look at that. That is so old. That goes back again to when I was a kid when I got this piece. And wow, I didn't realize how much more rare it is now than it used to be. This is from the Cerro de Mercado mine, and a well-known mine for such things, but I was looking at some pricing of these. I about fell out of my chair. It was way higher than I had any idea. Look at the additional crystals in this cluster, and also the clarity. A lot of the apatite just does not have that kind of transparency. You also have, I think there's a different mineral here. There might be some garnets here. I didn't have time to look into it all, but that's part of the fun all of you can have, is doing some of that research yourself. These are wonderful quartz crystals, and if you look carefully, they are actually a light lavender. I didn't want to call them amethyst, but they do have a tint of color, of a lavender type color. And look at, there's crystals all around. So have fun with this, because this goes back to the 70s. And wow. I don't know what I paid for it then, but I am sure as a teen working at as cheaply as I did, started off at $1.75 at a rock shop per hour. $1.75 an hour, I'll never forget. But I thought I was making the big bucks working for that little cabbing, 6-inch cabbing unit I was working off, paying my dad back. I was 13, first job, rode my bike 7 miles one way to a rock shop. Now, I couldn't drive a car that far, let much anything else, but to a rock shop, I could do anything. This is only $68, only $68. If you saw what they were asking for, go look it up. Go look up what a cluster. Look at that. You see how many crystals in there? Not just a single crystal. It doesn't matter. Look up any kind of crystal. And look what they're asking for. One, now, 4. Yeah. Item 118-8024. 118-8024. Now, we learned a little bit a while ago, a few weeks ago, I offered Mariolite parcels. This is a stone, what they say is between the Mariolite and Meonite, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how they pronounce it, but it is a series of chemical compositions when they say something like that falls in between them. Meaning there's a lot of different variations of the mineral. This is cat's eye scapolite, and this is a color that you will not normally see. If you want, for a long time I collected, because I took special cutting lessons at the age of, I think it was 12 or 13 when I took the special cutting lessons on how to cut optical phenomenon gemstones. And so let me turn my light off and just have a single light there. There we go. And if you could just brighten that a little bit there, Kemp, that'd be great. This stone is a stunning cat's eye. It is also a beautiful color. Look at that unique orange color. And that eye, a really strong eye. And now let me show you, give you some background look to the color, just so you can, oops, sorry about that. So you can actually see how orange that is, and you get to see the clarity. You see all those tiny little pinpoints in there? That is one way you can tell a genuine scapolite. It will have those little black specks like that. A wonderful stone. It is calibrated or close enough at 8.3 by 6.5 millimeters, and a fantastic opportunity if you collect rarities, especially optical phenomenon stones. This color, scapolite, is a hard one to find. And I'm making that one only $48. Only $48 for that. Oh yeah, 118-6924. 118-6924. Oh, wait till you see what I have coming up for you. Now, this was it is an amazing composition of minerals. Look at that. Oh, that's a great opening shot to just drop it right in there. But look at that. Yeah, look at, okay, there's so much going on. Okay, I don't know where to start. First, if you ever wondered what all these were, rightfully so. They look like gyrolites, don't they? They look like barytes, don't they? They look like everything except what they ended up to be. And that is, they're muscovite. They're muscovite. And yeah, muscovite, but the way you can tell is at the edge of them, when you get to see portions of them, you get to see the micaceous nature and how they can flake off. So you see all these little white areas, you think they're just reflections. They're not dings or scratches or anything. It's just the way the light is reflecting off of them. Look at these quartz crystals and look at the clarity. Look at how they just stand out right there. Then look at these perfect cubes. Look at that, of how Mother Nature can form those absolute perfect right angles. There is no nicks on those. These are really great shape. Remember, fluorite's a hardness of 4 on the Mohs scale. You can also see that they have the outlining of color zoning at the edges. That's always really cool. Then look at, you have another one back there. These also fluoresce. And then it looks like there's another one up there. Yeah, look at that little tiny one up there. That's really cool. Let's stand it up this way. And how beautiful is it this way? That is wonderful. Look at how the quartz crystals stand out that way. I like it displayed like this. So put it in a stand. At the prices I'm offering for, I'm too cheap to give you one. I don't know. Nah, go find your own, because a wooden one is what you need. The plastic one's too cheesy, and a metal one will scratch the mica. So you have to think about these things. Look at that. Look at that coming down like a dart. Look at that. Look at the clarity of that crystal. And let's go in a little closer right there for a moment, Kemp, please. It looks like, and I like the way you just slowly move in, Kemp. Great job. Today yeah, Latif, you do well too. We don't have Dave or Asif here today, so hadn't worked with. Look at that. Is that a manifestation crystal? In other words, a quartz crystal? If it is, I'm going up on the price. If I spend the time to find it in there, that better not be one, because I'm not even going to sell it if it is one. A manifestation is what they call the metaphysical world. No, I think I'm just seeing a mica. I don't know. It's where a quartz crystal grows over the top of another quartz crystal. I don't even want to know. I'm not going to look, because then I'd have to charge more. But these are all other mica. This is really unique. It has, 1, 2, 3, 4 different minerals, and it comes from see, the W stands for wolfram. That is the actual name for tungsten. And why they use a W, it's the old Latin name, wolfram, and then SN is the chemical symbol for tin. So it's from a tungsten and tin mine. Oh, here's the other mineral, pyrite. Look at these pyrite cubes back here, and look at how perfect these cubes are. These are really nicely well-defined pyrite cubes. And what an, look at that, see that? What an extra bonus. Pyrite, quartz, fluorite, muscovite. What did I leave out? That's enough. That's a great specimen. Anyway, price on this one, that is a really unique look. And I am offering this, I can't imagine at a show what this would, with that unique form of muscovite. That is a really rare form of muscovite. Only $58. Only $58 on that. And everything from the fluorite to the muscovite is really the money shot on that piece. But look at the quartz crystals. They're so aesthetically, look at that, like an arrow. And the clarity, I mean, it is really Oh, I think it that way. I think I like it that way. Beautiful. Turn it around each week a different way. Oh my. 118 79 24. 118 79 24. Almost forgot about this. This is a jewel of the Nile. First, let me show it to you in the little box. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, it is what you see. Blue, yellow, Australian bicolor sapphire. 2.02 carats. So the cutter did well in getting it over that 2 carat mark. It is exactly 8x6. So a great cutter. It is from my own collection, and I bought the stone myself in 1992. I made a trip to Kanchanaburi, Thailand that same year, and I also spent weeks in Australia, both places working with the Australian gem dealer. So I could say I bought it in Australia, or I bought it in Kanchanaburi, which is where the bridge over the River Kwai is, actually. It's not quite like it was in the movie, but it was neat to be able to walk across there and see a mahout washing his elephant. It was seemingly like going back in time. And they still run trains across the bridge and all. It's concrete. You see a couple strafe marks. They already blew up the original one. They rebuilt it and only strafed it once or twice, and there's a couple pockmark holes in it from World War II. Still kind of neat to see it. All right, now, that sapphire with that zoning line in it that Barbara bought the ring that I made from, that was truly one of a kind. I'll never see another one like that again. This one, same type of origin, but it's look at that, a blue yellow and a stunning blue. Look at how clean that blue and yellow is. The sapphire in general. There's no classic chevron zoning. In other words, you can't see the visible zoning. The zoning you do see is the zoning you want in this piece, the yellow and the blue. And most likely, and of course you get green when you put the two together, there's not going to be any treatments done to it because you would have messed up one color or the other in trying to do that. I can't say that for certain, but there's certainly been no more than heat done to it if that's the case. I don't even think that's the case. I think that's natural. Australia has what they call them party colors. And this is one of the outstanding ones, along, with the clear bicolor one, which is simply super, super, super rare that I've never seen before. This one is a really nice stone. It's a really, really nice stone, a very valuable blue. And if you want to collect something unique and different, this is the stone for you. Especially at the price I have this for. It could, due to the designers using unique pieces like this, stones like this have been going up and up and up. Look at that. Look at that color blue. Isn't that neat, Kemp? See something like that? You don't see that upstairs either. Yeah. Only in this weird show.
Didn't know they made bicolor sapphire.
Yeah, so Kevin said he didn't even know they made bicolor sapphire. Yeah, Mother Nature is an amazing thing, and you can find them in a couple different countries, but the one known for these two colors is Australia for the most part, and that is a beaut for certain. So, I mean, 200 a carat. Go find another one. It could be name your price, because there's just not going to be one as clean without any other zoning, there's not any other inclusions in there that I could see. That, and it's over 2 carats. It's over 2 carats. I have an opportunity on this, and I'm going to regret it. I am going to regret it because I can't go find another one. Only $148. $148 only dollars on that one. Wow. That is a deal and a half. Okay, I want to, let's see. I got a couple minutes with you, so I tell you what, though. I've been promising. I had some other things I want to show you. Let me go ahead and show you the. Okay, I'm going to show you this one last item, then I'm going to try to show you how I have organized my items. This is 115-8224. I want to show this because I want to get in the last time you're going to get to ever have an opportunity to buy this Crabtree Emerald Mine specimen, because after that, I'm cutting it up. That's it. I've given you enough time. This is North Carolina Emerald. You ever seen any North Carolina Emerald? Yeah, from the Crabtree Mine. And look at these emeralds. These are stunning. And this is the classic way you see Crabtree emeralds, is in this type of matrix. And when you look down this piece, you can see how many slices. You've seen how thin I have sliced this up before. And you know, if there's emeralds in it here, there's emeralds in it throughout it. Look at all the emeralds along this line. So once I get to sawing on this, look at how they go and travel through here. There is going to be more on the inside. So this makes a great partial bookend if you leave it like it is. This piece, if you bought it up in North Carolina in spruce pine, you could expect easily to see this in one of the shops up there in a price of $750 to $1,000 if you could find it that inexpensively. I have this, this was mined in the mid-'80s, as Shoal hornblende, biotite quartz, as all the classic pieces in this that you would expect. It's a stunning piece. So this is the last time I'm going to offer it. I will put a small sale price on it because I know what it would actually sell for. Only a sale price because I said each time I show it, I'd make it a little less. Make this one only $268, and it'll never be less than that. After that, you might never see it again, or you might see it sliced up. I mean, look at the emeralds on the exterior. This has got emeralds in it from North Carolina, the United States. Okay, now let me move these things off and just follow with me here. I am going to go through these items really quick because I know you need to get up and go to work there upstairs. So here, ladies and gentlemen, you have been curious to know and see how some of the items I travel with. Well, let me show you. First, of course, you know I'm big into lighting. This is a light I always travel with, and it gives me my incandescent lighting for color change items. This next item is, well, the older I get, the better, but if you're out in the field or somewhere that you need magnification, here is the classic magnifying glass, except this one has light as well. So if you're in a darkened environment and you're either looking at something on the ground or in a shop even, a rock shop, whatever, and need light and magnification, I keep one of those handy. Now, getting to some of the bigger stuff. Here is your standard cash bag, except no cash in it. In this one, I keep, you can see, no telling what you might find. Flashlight and a stone holder. I have my multi-tool. I have plastic ring sizers because they don't weigh much. A estimated size to show pearl gauge. Here is a rouge cloth. Here is a second ring sizer for a different size range and width. Here is a scoop. So it's pretty much what I use. Here is a millimeter gauge and another multi-tool. So pretty much a tool bag, but for only certain type of uses, like measuring ring fingers and pearls. Now this is something that you don't see too often, a spectroscope. Yep. Didn't know I had one, did you? Well, of course I did. A spectroscope with all the bells and whistles, including the different lenses, all in nice leather cases in a nice carrying case with instructions often needed for spectroscope. Tricky to do, but definitive when you do it. Look at this box. Now you can tell these are all worn because they go out in the field with me. They're not always in my bag that I bring here. They often go in a field bag I carry, and you can see they're well used. All right, so this is my everything from scales. I have scales here. Then in here, these are lenses I use for taking pictures that hook up to, and I've showed it to you before, how well it works for doing pictures with your cell phone. Here is a very needed blacklight. You know how important that is? Here is a laser blacklight. You saw how effective those can be in the past. Here is a clip-on that clips on to the cell phone, and I have this actually separate. It fixed on here, and this actually operates in 2 wavelengths of light. You have a black light, and you have a regular light. And this is also adjustable, and it takes some amazing high quality pictures for what it is. Chelsea filter, the really good expensive one that no one has. This is actual brand name Chelsea filter. This is metal, and this of course is for determining, look at that, determining chrome content. And yeah, it gets its own nice leather pouch. Now, the one that I actually use more because it's well, can't go wrong, British made. It is a Rainer tool, so much less expensive. It's a plastic one, but it's Chelsea filter, and it works effectively as well. If I was doing something really important, of course, I use the metal one. And then I have extra batteries here, always needed. Let's see, so that is the picture taking, I don't know, combination stuff that I know what's in there. Now, look at this. Check this one out. This is really cool the way it's set up, because in this I have, first we undo that. It's too fancy for me. And then look at, I have a portable microscope. This is amazing. It works so well. So you can see, look at this. It has this little, see the light there? You can actually, well, there's the switch. You can actually turn the angle you want the light. You place this, your stone's right there. You place this right down on the stone. So your stone's right there. Then this is your focus and your additional magnification. You have your light. It is a 60 to 100 zoom. It is really good for finding horsetail inclusions and other tiny little things, bubbles and stuff. Now, this is, look at that. This is the GIA rated light bulb needed. Here is your diamond grating, portable diamond grating. So here's your little tray where you put your stone in, and then you have your black light. And it fits right in here. Look at that. Isn't that not cool as can be? Okay, there's your switch, there's your black light, and to change out for grading, for diamond and color grading, there's your other light bulb. I'll put it all away in a minute, 'cause I know you need to go. Isn't that neat? That's really neat. And then look at this. here is a flashlight, which you need. Here is, of course, a tray. Then I like the way all this is built in. You have your, of course, always should have one, your loop. And built into the pocket. Look at that. See the way these are made? Your tweezers fit in there. That's your loop. Your flashlight is in there. And then look at this. Chelsea filters in one place, but here's all my other filters. I don't use these much anymore because I don't need to, but they're great for confirmation when I am unsure. So see your synthetic emerald support filter, and I have over the many years have learned how to use all of these without needing any other information as far as what something should look like. And there's your at any given time, because memory has it. Then I have extra batteries there for running all this other hardware. And let's see, do we have anything else? Well, we do, but we will call it quits there. I have that other flashlight I used earlier, and between the Geiger counter and everything else, I am set to go. So that's going to do it. I am going to be back and say goodbye to you. All right. Well, what about that, huh? Quick showing, all that stuff. So to hold all those boxes, it takes a bigger bag. And in that bigger bag, I even have more stuff. Everything from battery-powered lights to weapons of mass destruction. That would be some of that radioactive stuff, huh? All right, so I hope you learned a lot of different stuff going on today. And, oh, yes, we looked it up, Latif and I. And I was right. It was anthraxolite. So I did get it right. But, I guess since the last time I looked it up, they changed the name on me. They call it pyrobitumen now. Pyrobitumen. But they say it's amorphous, meaning it doesn't have a crystalline form. So if it is, I'm still going to use anthraxolite. If it is that, then it wouldn't have its own crystal system unless there are ones that are so full of the pyrobitumen or anthraxolite that the quartz crystal is black. So if there was a manifestation quartz piece or crystal in crystal, so if you had a pyrobitumen quartz crystal so full of it that it was just black, and then another doubly terminated crystal formed over it, then we could get there, because it looked like still a doubly terminated hexagonal quartz crystal that was black. So I am going to look at that a little closer and see that what exactly is going on in that piece. But when we both, Latif looking and researching on one end, me here, and neither one of us found, and we didn't find anything that looked like what I showed you. So that tells you just how unique and rare that piece might be. So I'll probably end up selling it. And I can't imagine it'd be a lot, but it'd be like one of those, well, go find another one, but there's not going to be another one to find. So I really have no idea what they're worth. I'm sure to a miniature, because it was small, so it'd be like at a show, like a miniature show. I can't imagine that in that category like let's say miniature show on quartz crystals or something. I don't know how they divide them up. I think it's probably not just quartz. I think everything, but I think I could give some of the quartz collectors a pretty good run for their money on that one. Like, have you seen anything like this before? So, a little more research on that. All right, so I hope, again, that all of you have had a great weekend. Maybe you're extending it into this week as well, and all the power to you. I'm off. I know a bunch of other people that are off, but Raven might have to work depending on the show with Snow, and they've got new inventory in. So, you know, when you're 24/7, nonstop, except for Christmas Day, holidays come and go, but the machine is still here working, especially since the machine still needs to fix a bunch of broken stuff here, computer-wise and computer-wise. All right, so happy 4th of July to all of you, and stay safe and stay cool. I remember some summers in Georgia that it never hit 90 degrees, and there is such a thing. I remember maybe it was only one year, but there's other years where it only hit 90 a few times. We have had a nonstop run of 90s, and it looks like it's not stopping, and there's absolutely been no rain. My blueberries, I've been having to pick. I have a peach tree that there is so many peaches on it, and they're coming ripe, and unless we get some water, I think they're coming ripe a little small, but as long as they still have that Georgia peach flavor, I don't care how big they are. There's a lot of peaches. Lateef, I'm going to be bringing you peaches. I better bring them before the critters, as we call them, and we have a lot of them, including Teddy, the bear, and deer. I mean, I watched Teddy eat and strip all the leaves off the blueberry bush. Didn't eat the unripe blueberries. Oh no, he was waiting for them to be ripe. You should have seen me last evening when I was picking blueberries. No, you don't pick them with your back to the forest. No, you pick them because it's a quiet thing, right? I mean, something could sneak up on me, I wouldn't know, knowing that Teddy is never far away. And the orchard with all those sweet smelling peaches and blueberries and 3 apples, and you know. All right, I guess I will let everybody here get back to work and me get back to cleaning up. God bless all of you. I thank all of you for your continued support of this show, and for all of us here at GSN, because without all of you, there wouldn't be all of us and great friends, people I've known for 16 years now. And that's special. That's special. So we're about halfway through the summer. It seems, you know, school starts here in like the first week of August. So it's like one more month and all those little munchkins can go back to where they need to be. And I don't have to worry about clipping one when they ball goes across the street or they ride their little bike down the driveway without even looking, and those kind of things. So watch out for the little kitties. Yep. I could say something else. They're worth more points than they used to be. Okay, so keep your eyes to the ground. That's where the gems are to be found. And don't forget my kyanite story. I don't. And on the other side of that, don't forget my galena geode story. Between the two, there's a balance there somewhere. Drive the pick down the middle, and you'll find that pegmatite you've been looking for. Cheers. Take care. See you next Monday.